It's about business o'clock, I think, and Madison Reedy has joined us in the studio. Madison, OECD's released a report today on our economy. What's it telling us?
OECD officials were in the capital in Wellington today, so every year they come over and give us what's sort of a bit like a report card on the state of our economy and our economic policies. Now, looking at the numbers first, they expect New Zealand's economy to grow by 2.5% both this year and next year. They gave us a big tick in that report card for the government's wellbeing approach to economic policies and obviously this year's budget. They say that that approach will make our economy more inclusive and sustainable long term. But it wasn't all good news. They did point to our economy's extremely low productivity. Now, they think that that's so low because we're geographically isolated. Obviously, our market is small compared to the rest of the world. We're a dot on just the bottom of the map or off some maps completely. And they say that that comes with weak competitive pressures. So businesses here aren't necessarily forced by competition to do and be better all the time. They also mentioned our soaring house prices. That's how they put it. They said that housing affordability here has dropped and that homelessness is high. We obviously all know that. They suggested that the New Zealand government reform building and construction rules to make it easier for builders and developers so that it cuts down some red tape for them to make it easier. They also interestingly said that the government should look to prioritise rental supply. Now, that's obviously a direct juxtaposition to what KiwiBuild is, the government's flagship housing policy, which is based on building homes to sell. Now, they did also mention in regards to social housing that the government could look at reallocating some of that KiwiBuild funding to do that. Obviously, we're still waiting on that KiwiBuild housing reset, which is yet to come. In regards to immigration, they said that we need to do better to integrate migrant workers into our labour market. We've all seen kind of those widely publicised issues there. They suggested making all New Zealand businesses and employers accredited, essentially making them have a tick of approval before they can hire any migrant workers. And now when it comes to what the government is already doing, they told the government to actually slow down on increases of the minimum wage. Now, the Finance Minister, Grant Robertson, was there standing next to the OECD today. He ruled that out on the spot, said they won't be doing that, so that's a big red line through that one.
Part of their coalition agreement with New Zealand First, so I think, they would have something to say about it.
The OECD did also mention, though, which would have been good news for the government, they mentioned that we should introduce a deposit insurance scheme. Timely, they did that yesterday, so that's another tick there. They also did mention, though, which obviously I found interesting, but of course I would, they suggested that we make banks here increase their capital requirements. As I've told you many times before, Lisa, the Reserve Bank is already doing that.
Yeah, and the banks are kicking up about it. Hey, and you've got an employment confidence survey also today. So just give us a brief summary. How are they feeling?
So this is a survey of workers and how they're feeling about their jobs and future jobs that they might get. On the face of it, they are feeling a bit better. So the index is up 2.6% in the 3 months to June to a measure of 116.9. But underneath the detail was a little bit softer. Workers are worried about job creation and what that means for their future job prospects. And that is a little bit of a warning as well that unemployment, which is at historical lows at the moment, may soon tick up in the future, which is not good news.
And what's been going on the markets?
The NZX Top 50 Index closed at a new record high this evening.
Wow, 2 days in a row.
I know, 2 days in a row, consecutive rises there. So it rose 0.3% tonight. That's a rise of 30 points to close at 10,418. That makes us probably one of the best markets in the world at the moment, but there is talk that the NZX is slightly overvalued. The New Zealand dollar, that's buying at 66.5 US cents, 69.6 to the Australian, and a whole 52 British pence.
Wow, 52 British pence. That's a movement. Thanks, Madison. Madison Reedy with our business update.